Good morning to you. It is February the 1st. Like, it was just like New Year's, and now it's already the second month of February. Like, this year is already in the second month. So, if you haven't paid attention to anything that you need to do, whether it's for your life or whether it's in your life, whether it's things that you surround yourself with, I want you to know that time is not going to wait for you. Time is not going to wait for you to figure out what you want to do. Time is not going to wait for you to actually sit yourself down to be productive. Time is going to move on without you. It's already the 1st of February. If you haven't done what you said that you was going to do in January, you are 31 days behind. But what are you going to do in this moment that's going to make this month different than what you said that you was going to do last month? Is it something that you know you could have done different, or something that you were just running your mouth but not really moving your feet to produce that which what you said you was going to have done last month? It's 1 February. Good morning. I appreciate you for being here. This is Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast choice. And if I can get up and it's cold weather, it is 28 degrees right now. I got up and I came out here just to do what I know that is required of me to do, which is this. I know my calling. Do you know yours? Do you actually action yours? If not, let's take a conversation, especially about today, about your personality and your personal reality. So, like always, I will always say thank you, and I will always appreciate you, especially for those that's not going to work today. You might as well sit here and eat some of these jewels that I'm going to be giving you, some of this food for thought for you to actually plug into and see where and how you can begin to shape and reshape the things that you're doing and the things that you're about to do. So again, like always, I will always show my gratitude. I will always show my appreciation, because you can be anywhere right now at 7:30 in the morning, but you're here. Here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. How has your week been thus far? Some of y'all haven't done anything. Some of y'all have been at home. But what are you doing when you're at home? Are you reading? Are you studying? Are you relaxing? Are you figuring out what new thing that you want to do? Or are you fixing the things that you know that you need to fix, correct, adjust? Whatever it is that you feel you want to say is completely up to you. All right, so let me go ahead and put this caption up. And it is an open dialogue question. This is not show and tell to where I am showing you something and you tell me nothing in return. So the question that is proposed right here is, how did you shape your reality? I mean, that's a question. Did you go back to school? Did you journal? Did you like had an idea and started working on that idea? Like, how did you shape your reality to get to where you are right now? Like, what were your steps? What was the first thing that you did in order for you to give shape to your reality? All right, so let's go ahead and switch the screen so we can go ahead and jump 2 feet into this. Again, good morning to you. If I can say good morning to you, you can simply say good morning in return, because I want to say I am proud of the life that you're able to see, because there was someone who didn't wake up yesterday. And I am awake, and I am telling you good morning, and I'm happy that you're awake as well. Peace. Good morning, Miss Scott. Thank you for being here. Thank you for communicating as well, making a plan and being consistent in my execution. Bet. I like it. I love it. I appreciate you. For those who didn't see in the comment section, Miss Scott says she's making a plan and being consistent in her execution. Like, where are you at right now? For those that are watching, again, this is 1 February. You had 31 days to do what you said that you were going to do in January. If you haven't done it, you got 28 days in February to complete what you didn't do in 31 days. So you have a shorter amount of time to execute what you said you was going to do in the first 31 days. Whether you say like, well, I'm gonna go live for the first 31 days in January. Yeah, you probably only went live once, right? You probably only went live once. But being that you have the ability to change and alter that and recommit yourself to it, let today be your day one. Because you got 28 days to do what you didn't do in 31. All right, so I'm gonna put the caption back up. Bam. There it go. For those that come in after we continue this live, and what I want you to do is go ahead and share this live because I know that this is going to touch someone. Like, how do you shape your personal reality? How do you shape your personal reality? For those that's new to the platform, you're going to get definition of words. You're going to get an inversion in a definition. And from there, we're going to go ahead and go into the deep dive. And the very first definition that I want you to pay attention to is the definition of personality. Personality. The first definition, the combination of characteristics or quality that form an individual's distinctive character. So, what I want you to pay attention to in the definition of personality is reality. Is reality. So let me move myself so you can see it. All right, that worked better for you. All right, bet. All right, it says the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. And what I want you to pay attention to is within the fabric of your personality lies your personal reality. So look at the red itself, but now we're going to invert that and we're going to pay attention to the white reality and we're going to reread it. The combination of the characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive reality. It's your reality. It's a combination of your characteristics and your qualities. Like, what do you bring to the table? And what you bring to the table can shape your reality. Like, if you bring nothing to the table, then trust me, nothing will be given to you in return because you have brought nothing to the table. So let's go with the next definition. Next definition says the personality. The next definition says the qualities that make someone interesting or popular. And we're going to do the same thing. The inversion that I want you to pay attention to is white over red, which the qualities that make someone interesting and popular is now that person's reality. Right? Because there are some things and there are some qualities that we have, and when you find things or people find you interesting or popular, that now becomes and shapes your reality. That's how we get micro influencers. That's how we have macro influencers. That's how we have social media influencers, because of their personality and the qualities that made people find them interesting, and now it's their reality. Trust me, those people, when they grew up, they were not even thinking about, well, I'm going to be Instagram famous. They had to create that reality for themselves psychologically and mentally in order for it to really begin to take shape for that individual person. So now the next definition that I want you to pay attention to, and again, is personality. The unique patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that distinguish a person from others. So now I want you to pay attention. Now it's really about to get deep as we begin to go into our deep dive, because it says a unique pattern of thoughts. Have your mama or grandmama ever told you, like, who you think you are when they looking at your personality? Because it's true. Your personality is a patterns of thoughts, like the who that you think you are, the actions that you take, the things that you do, the feelings that you have distinguishes your reality. Again, I'm just reading definition, but it really takes shape in the who that you are and how you carry yourself and the development and the things that you surround yourself with. Because again, it says the unique patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that distinguishes a person reality. Like, what have you thought about where you are right now in your life? Because Miss Scott said she's planning and she's being consistent in her execution. So therefore, she had to create a unique pattern of thoughts in order for her to understand, if I am going to create this plan, I must be consistent in my execution in order for me to get it done. So she had to develop a unique pattern of thought. And you can't tell me consistency doesn't have a component of feelings in it, because when you're not consistent, you feel a certain way. The feelings that you feel when you're not consistent really is the conviction of what you know you should keep doing. And when you are now a lot more consistent in your planning and more consistent in your execution, your behaviors change. And your behaviors is dealing with your levels of discipline, as well as it's dealing with your levels of dedication. And it all is entwined and wrapped up in your personality, because again, it says unique pattern of thoughts, feelings, behaviors that distinguishes you within your reality. And the next definition, because we have to keep it real when it comes with our reality, because remember, if it's said in the past about the personality is the unique pattern of thoughts and feelings and behaviors that makes that distinguished reality, we have to go like, Mr. R2, like, what is reality and how does reality play its part in my personality? So the definition of reality, it says the actual state of things or the facts involved in such a state. And the inversion that I want you to pay attention to on this is red over white, which is the actual state of things. So now let's communicate about the actual state of things. What does that mean when it's talking about your reality? It is talking about your state of mind, right? Because it says the actual state of things. Like, what is your actual state of mind? What is your actual process of thought? What are your actual fears? What are your actual levels of faith? What are your actual levels of your dedication to your project, or the dedication to the things that you say that you were committed to on 1 January, and you allowed it to pass all the way through to the 31st of January, and now it's the 1st of February, and you still haven't committed to yourself and what you said that you were going to do in January? That is the actual state of things for you. That's your reality. It is incomplete. But in order for you to change the state of your reality, you have to begin the process of changing your state of mind. That's true. Why? Because it is an actual state of things. You did not complete what you said that you were going to complete. If the answer is yes, that you didn't do it, that's an actual fact. So now let's flip that a little bit. Let's go into white over red, or the facts involved in such a state. That's when you begin to start to make excuses on why you didn't do it. It is an actual reality of yours. Well, I said I was going to do this, but it got cold outside. Okay, and yes, it got cold outside. Trust me, you could have got in the living room, threw on some doggone workout videos, and got it in the living room. Or you could have, well, we don't have to go to work today, so I felt that I wanted to relax. You know that book you said you wanted to write? You could have sat down and began to complete a sentence. And then after you finish completing that sentence, you could have completed a paragraph. And after you completed that paragraph, you can complete one page. And after you completed that one page, you could have completed a chapter. But you wanted to talk about the you try to create facts that are involved in that such a state that you didn't complete. And because you're still living in that incomplete reality, the actual fact is that your mindset is what needs to change. Again, I'm just giving you definition. There is nothing that I haven't given you that you cannot go and research for yourself, but I just want to make it a lot more relevant to you today. So let's begin the process of going into this deep dive. Put your snorkels on, you know what I'm saying? Put your wetsuit on, get your tanks out. We're about to go in this deep dive on how to shape your personal reality. Now, back in the day, and I'm sure some of y'all might have heard it on in movies and stuff like that. The Dramatics had a song. Um, Now I ain't that old, but I'm just saying. The Dramatics had a song and it was called "What You See Is What You Get." Right? How many of y'all remember that song? If you remember that song, just put me in the comment section. So the Dramatics said, "What you see is what you get." But I was listening to a few speakers this past day, and there was this one particular speaker. He said, "Your personality creates your personal reality." And I had to sit there and chew on that for a moment because I was like, man, that's kind of deep. But then I had to examine it for myself. Like, what personalities do you have that creates the reality that you live in? Like, think about that. What personalities do you have that creates the reality that you live in? Because your personality creates your personal reality. And that means that my personal reality gives shape to my future self. I mean, look at it. Because if your personality creates your personal reality, then that means that your personal reality gives shape to your future self. That tells me, where I want to go. It tells me what I don't want to do. It tells me what I don't want to do anymore. Because your personality changes. Like, have you ever been somewhere and felt out of place? And you said, well, I don't like to go there anymore because, you know, I don't have that type of personality anymore. That's because your personality gave shape to your personal reality, which began to formulate your future self. If you're still going to the places that you know that you're not supposed to go and you told yourself that you shouldn't go there anymore, that means your personality is still the same. You talk a good game, but your personality still is going to take you to those rooms that you know you're not supposed to be in. Because your future self, it goes through like a tremendous amount of shape shifting as it prepares you to shift your personal paradigm, because you're growing, you're evolving, you're expanding, you're developing. You may be exposed to newer things. You may be reading certain books. So now your personality has begun to change itself. So now the personal reality that you have found yourself in has only been developed by your new exposures to things, because your personality helps you endure many character and unique behavior adjustments that shapes your reality. Because when you begin to shift your thoughts, it begin to create new shapes and forms, and now in your perceptions change, and so does your expectation. right? Because when we begin to reshape and give new forms to our perception and expectations, we have the ability to embrace our new moods, our new attitudes, and our new interactions. We interact with people different. Why? Because we are learning more about ourselves, and people like, man, something about you is new. Like you're laughing more, you're smiling more. That's because your personality has a new shape, and because that personality shape is different, the moods don't just swing, but the moods evolve with how you've grown. And your attitudes have evolved from how you have grown. So, how you communicate and interact with people has no other option but to be different. And we all know that our personalities are both inherited and acquired. I mean, that's an actual fact. Like there's no way around that. Your personalities are inherited and acquired. But what I want you to pay attention to is, but what personality do you feed the most? I mean, that's a real question, because if your personality is inherited and acquired, you have to now answer to what personality do you feed the most? And the personality that you feed the most shows in the reality of how you live. It really does. I mean, you have to look at it from a true and honest perspective, because how do you shape your personal reality? I'm going to tell you how you shape your personal reality is by knowing which personality to feed and which one you need to starve. And you know which personality that you need to feed and which personality that you need to starve, then you will begin to change your actual state of mind. And when that personality begin to change the actual state of mind, then there is going to be a newness in how you do things, newness in the places that you go, a newness in how you feel and manage your emotions. You're going to be a lot more emotionally intelligent because there is a new personality that you're going to carry. Now, you may have inherited, your papa bad characteristics. People say it's in you, but which one are you going to bury? And which one are you going to allow to live and let live? Which personality are you going to feed? And which personality are you going to starve? All right. I appreciate y'all. Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. We are here every weekday at 7:30. Make sure y'all go to Spotify, Anchor, and as well as go to our YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we appreciate everything that you do. All right, y'all be blessed. And if you're not going to work today, go ahead and go back to listen to some of the jewels that we had. And the conversation that we're going to have tomorrow, which is a deep one, I got to read it because I wrote it down yesterday because it sparked, is shepherd your thoughts. That's going to be a deep one. So make sure you're here tomorrow, 7:30. We're going to be talking about shepherd your thoughts. Like, how do you shepherd your thoughts? We'll see you tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. Peace.